Beta Sigma is just a wonderful organization. It's something that I wish that I had had at my undergraduate school, which was Northwestern University, but we didn't have a chapter. We didn't even have a Kappa Kappa Psi chapter, so it wasn't available to me, but I would have loved to have been a part of it. I was in the Northwestern marching band for all 4 years as a percussion performance major, which was not really typical there, and it just would have been really great to have that sisterhood amongst the musicians there on campus. So I really want to say, again, thanks for having me speak, and I really appreciate everything that all of you do for your respective music departments. I know here at Virginia Tech, we have we rely a lot on Tau Beta Sigma and Kappa Kappa Psi for a lot of different service opportunities, and we're so appreciative about all of their time that they put in, and so thank you. I don't get to see all these ladies in person, so again, I won't be seeing you in person, but please accept this sincere thanks for your time. I want to tell you a little bit about myself, what I do here at Virginia Tech, and I also am an active performer around the country, so I'll tell you a little bit about what I do. Here at Virginia Tech, I'm the assistant professor of percussion. It's a position that I've held for, this is my second year on the tenure track line, but I've actually been teaching here, this is my 5th year teaching at Virginia Tech. So I was a visiting professor for 3 years here. Before that, I was actually over at Christopher Newport University, and I don't believe they have a TBS chapter yet. I think it's still just Kappa Kappa Psi, but if there's anybody here from Christopher Newport, hello. And then before that, I was just at the University of West Georgia for just 1 year. And again, really couldn't have done what I was able to do in my job without these your service as TBS and Kappa Kappa Psi. So that was my first job out of graduate school, and again, really made my first year teaching very enjoyable, and I got a lot out of it and learned a lot from you all as well. I'm recording this on Thursday, and it's actually International Women's Day. Very exciting, and something that we can all celebrate. I'm so thankful for the opportunities that I have as a female percussionist. There were definitely several people that have forged the way before me, and I have lots of role models as a percussionist. Somebody that I've always followed from when I was a little girl is Evelyn Glennie, the British female percussionist who's also deaf. She actually made an appearance in the London Olympics opening ceremony, which I thought was really cool. But I used to listen to her recordings all the time, and I think I wasn't really aware of how much of an influence she was on me at the time. It was just, she was a go-to person. If you needed a good recording, you went and sought something that she was playing. And at the time, I don't think I knew I have to go find a woman. It was just I need to find the best, and there she was. So she's been somebody I've always looked up to at the time. So I just wanted to recognize the fact that it is International Women's Day. Okay, so back to a little bit of what I'm doing here at Virginia Tech. I teach the percussion ensemble. I'm really excited with what they've accomplished since I've been here. Thanks to their hard work. I definitely can't take all the credit. It's just wonderful to have fantastic students who work hard and they kind of do what you say, but they definitely put in a lot of work. Recently I took the junior class, there's 5 juniors, took them to the Percussive Arts Society International Convention in Indianapolis back this past November. And we competed in the university division of the Chamber Percussion Ensemble competition, and they got first place. They were competing against some percussion ensembles of graduate programs and undergraduate programs, so I was really proud of my junior class for working hard. They memorized all their music, communicated well when they were performing, just really exciting to watch, and came out on top. And it's not always about, the placement, but it is fun to walk away with a first place accomplishment. So that's just... mention something of note that has happened here recently. Let's see. Like I mentioned, I also teach lessons too, and so helping students get ready for recitals. Typical things that you see happening in your respective music departments also.
Jump back and do this a little bit.
So I'm going to move on to what I do on the side from teaching. I'm an active performer, and one of the groups that I guess I play in the most is my percussion duo called Escape 10. You can actually check us out at our website, escape10, T-E-N, spelled out, .com. It's just a percussion duo, myself and my very good friend Andrea Vinay, who teaches percussion down at the University of North Florida in Jacksonville. We have been doing this since about 2012. However, we've known each other, since 2006 is when we crossed paths. 2005 actually, we crossed paths while we were graduate students at Rutgers University. And what I want to say about the way that our group came together was not something that we even dreamed of way back when we first met in 2005. It's not something we were working towards. It just all of a sudden happened, came together about 6 years ago in 2012. And we're just really lucky for this, I think, that we were handed this opportunity and it worked out. But what I want to say about this is that you can't always plan everything when you're in school. Sometimes it'll just happen as you're out of school and you're looking for opportunities. It will happen. If something's not clear to you right now and you're a senior and you're graduating in a few months, have no fear. Don't worry. Give it some time. And as you're working things through, you might be doing a job that you didn't even expect you were doing. Some opportunities might come through. So that's the first thing I want to say, that kind of reflecting back on my experience with Escape 10 that happened to me. Like I said, Andrea and I were graduate students. We were just together 1 year in a graduate program. I moved to Chicago. She moved down to Texas to teach. And, Facebook kind of kept us in touch, but we weren't particularly great friends. But everybody on Facebook knows what everybody else is doing if you post things. So we kind of kept up that way. And then, as luck would have it, we'll scroll down to 2012. I was interviewing for a job over at Christopher Newport, and Andrea had just gotten married, and her husband happened to live in Newport News. So she moved there to be with him, and I was stuck at the airport on my job interview, and I called her because I said, "Andrea, I think you live in Newport News, right?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, I'm at the airport and I'm stuck here." And I didn't want to call my hopefully future employer to, ask him to put me up another night. So I asked Andrea if I could stay with her, and I got the job, and the rest is really history. So one of the first things that we did as a duo was drive across the country from Newport News, obviously all the way on the coast of Virginia, and we drove all the way to LA and back. So this was a true testament to if we were going to be able to continue this duo, being in the car that many hours over the summer because it was so hot, although we didn't lose AC, so that was really nice, but still really, really hot. We packed, here's where the name comes into play, we packed a Ford Escape with a 5-octave marimba, a 4-octave vibraphone, some gongs, 2 suitcases, just clothes and food, like snacks and stuff. It was like all over the whole back seat. You couldn't even slide a piece of paper in there. So it was a really exciting trip. Everywhere we went, we had to obviously unpack all this stuff, and it was like 130 degrees in Phoenix and like 110 degrees with 1,000% humidity in Houston. So, we experienced the extremes for sure in the summer and survived. So, if you can put yourself through something like that, then, things will probably get off to a good start, and you might have a good future. One thing that we like to do as a duo is commission composers. So when we got together, we were looking at the existing duo repertoire, not just for marimba duo, but percussion duo in general. And we were not like too huge of fans with anything that we found. We played some of this repertoire but it really wasn't like our voices. My voice is Annie and Andrea's voice. So what we've done is approach these composers and who, some of them know us, better than others. And they've written some works for us that are really just speak so well to what we want to accomplish as a duo. We enjoy music that grooves. It doesn't necessarily have to be tonal music. We love to play tonal music, but we also love some quirky atonal music too, and we love to try to challenge the audience to appreciate and enjoy a lot of different genres of music. So our concerts are typically flooded with, like I mentioned, Radiohead, but then also a world premiere of some new percussion duo piece that we've commissioned. So that's kind of what we're after. Another thing is that we love to try to make our lives a little bit more impossible than they need to be, and we've recently asked composers to write for us pieces that require us to play marimba, vibraphone, but with something else. So I'll try to show a picture of or a video of us playing some pieces where we're doing some marimba and then like reaching over the marimba playing tom-toms, or reaching over the vibraphone playing crotales, and playing things simultaneously. Kind of splits your brain a little bit, but that's what we're going after. We definitely think it's really appealing to the audiences to see this happening, but we love to have that much sound coming from just two people. I think that's what we're going after. And so like I said, it makes our lives a little bit complicated to learn these new instruments. I mean, every piece we're getting is like learning a new instrument, learning new notation. So it's been fun. We have an album that we recorded last summer. It's in the works of the post-production right now, and so hopefully that'll be released in the near future. When you have something good, you make it work. So like I mentioned, Andrea and I, when we finally got to do it together, we were just together for 1 year in Newport News, and then Andrea went to graduate school. I had finished already at the Eastman School of Music, and then she was going up there to pursue her DMA. I had just gotten this job at Virginia Tech, so we were going between Rochester and Blacksburg, and we thought, well, we've got something good, let's make it work. Use the technology available to you to make it work. So one thing that we do is when we get these new pieces, like I mentioned, we will record ourselves and send each other a MIDI record, or not a MIDI recording, but an MP3 of us playing our parts. And what we can do is slow down our parts. We'll play it with a metronome, and then send that along. And so we kind of work. We do the same thing as if we were together rehearsing every week. But with the liberty of just not having to schedule any rehearsal time together, because we have these recordings of each other, and we'll send each other just like a little bit sped up each week if it's a new piece, and then try to get it to that final tempo. But the cool thing about this process is that we typically, whenever we have a new piece, and we say we're premiering it, let's say we got a piece now, we're going to premiere it in May, we're not going to get together until maybe a couple days before, and that'll be the first time that we've played it together. And we usually try to play all our pieces memorized. So what's fun is that we show up to the gig, we all know each other's parts because we've been listening to the other person's parts. It's memorized, and we can just go. So we don't ever really have that first rehearsal experience anymore where it's kind of frustrating, you're like reading through stuff, and you kind of don't know how the piece sounds just yet. So we kind of bypass all of that, and just when we get to the gig, it's like go time. Really kind of a fun way to put it together, and I think that's one of the reasons why we do love to do what we do together. The thing I want to say is, if the opportunity doesn't exist, you make it exist. This doesn't only go for the duo that I've been talking about, but just anything that you come across in your profession or in life, whatever it might be, make it. That's something that I've always believed in. I think that there are resources available to all of us. So whether it be like if I'm working here in my job and I need some kind of funding, seek the resources, ask people, get out. For me, getting out across campus, meeting people, seeking those opportunities is really important. Point that I want to make is to never stop learning. For me as a percussionist, it's so important to just study all different kinds of percussion and rhythm and drums from all these different cultures throughout the world that have music as such a prevalent part of their culture. So many cultures throughout the world have some type of drums or rhythm, and I love studying this. And I'm not an expert by any means, but it's just exciting to me to keep learning and growing this way. But one of the ensembles that I've been fortunate to experience here at Virginia Tech is the Ichrab Ensemble, which is a community music ensemble that focuses on Middle Eastern music. We have somebody on faculty here, so it's something that I've been able to participate in and learn a new instrument. I've been playing some frame drum and some tabla, and learning new Arabic folk songs and being able to learn a little bit of Arabic too. So it's been a really great time, and I encourage any of you to find opportunities like that in your field. So I think that covers it. Please reach out to me with any questions or comments. You can email me at my Virginia Tech email address, which is ajs@vt.edu. You can also tweet at me, which is @Timpannie, Timpannie. So I'd love to hear from you, and once again, thanks for having me, and best of luck. Safe travels to everybody. I don't know, the weather's been crazy today, so getting in and out of here can be a little wild, but safe travels to everybody. All right, thank you, and thanks again to Erica Pope and the TBS chapter here at Virginia Tech, and to everybody who has worked on this conference.